Welcome to PLUSone, the series where I look at the free monthly games on PlayStation Plus and tell you if they're worth the download. After all, the games may be free, but your time is valuable. Today, I'm looking at Lumo, a 2016 game made by AAA Games. The game is an isometric puzzle game heavily inspired by similar games that were popular in Britain in the 1980s, such as Head Over Heels. The game focuses on a young boy who gets sucked into a test build of a video game. From that moment, he's turned into this little black mage-looking wizard, and your goal is to work your way through the labyrinth of rooms and solve puzzles to find your way out. At least for the first chunk of the game, Lumo is incredibly linear with small diversions here and there. As you progress, you'll unlock new abilities such as a higher jump, and run into several different collectibles like a rubber ducky, a cassette tape, and others. The puzzles in the game are never super difficult. Solve a puzzle in room A and it lets you progress back through room C. Get a power up on this side of the map that'll help you progress back through on the other side. Some rooms are just questionable though. Lumo loves to make use of pixel perfect jumping, and the game itself doesn't feel fine-tuned for anything close to reliable platforming. For one, it's isometric, so some platforms may seem connected to the wall until you fall behind them and realize, whoops, no they're not. Your character does have two shadows to help with platforming, one of which actually goes through the platforms to the floor of each room, but the game is usually far too dark for me to be able to see either of them. Lumo is at its best when you're solving purely logical puzzles, but for some reason the choice was made to favor puzzles where you're actively fighting the mechanics. To its credit, there's a lot hiding in this game. I randomly found a section where I rode an elevator up to this, whatever this is. There's this great feeling of discovery at times in Lumo, but I don't really feel it pops up enough to keep me interested. Perhaps I'd be more invested if the game looked or sounded just a little bit better. I'm all for using simple stock textures to help save time and money, but the game just feels dull with all the brown it uses to fit its dungeon theme, and I only heard maybe 3 songs total in my time playing, and that's when I heard music at all. I looked at the soundtrack after the fact, and there are some really nice tracks, but I never heard them. I only heard ones that blended together and sounded the same. If you're into this sort of throwback, or you liked the games that Lumo is emulating, by all means the game is for you, and there's a lot of game here. The game has somewhere to the tune of 400 rooms, and there are several different collectibles sprinkled throughout the game that add extra challenge to some of these rooms. Plus, there's a hard old school mode where you have limited lives and no saves, just like in the good old days. Completionists should get a decent amount of value out of the game. If any of what I said sounds appealing, it's worth a shot to +1 this game to your collection, especially if you're a fan of older isometric adventure titles. I personally am not, and because of that, combined with the fact that I found myself fighting these mechanics far more than I'd like, I quickly soured on the experience here. If you're watching this down the road and the game is no longer free on PS Plus, it runs for $20. I think there'd be enough value here to pick it up, but again, you've got to go in liking this kind of game already. I don't think it will succeed for most as more than a quick trip down memory lane, and a reminder that memories tend to be a lot more flattering than reality. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to hit the like button and share it with your friends, and if you want to find out if more of this month's free games are worth a spot on your system, be sure to subscribe.